What are the globe things on the lights called? Lanterns? Okay. Someone's asking me. Just call lanterns?
What if I do this whole pod like this?
It's fucking bold.
You should.
It's like hard to read in here though. Damn, the audio sounds like way better.
Yeah. This
What y'all had before?
Life changing.
Oh
some
man,
shitty
we
ass
had
mics.
like, yeah.
The starter pack.
Oh,
The podcast starter pack.
bro, you got to get the.
We had like.
What's the one that
worst mics
everybody
ever.
had? SMB 7 or whatever.
Get those, but
They're like 500. I have one that I'm not using. Y'all need one.
How much are these?
250.
Good start.
Yeah.
600.
They honestly sound the same. I have both, and I like this one better. I don't think it's that crazy. It's just like Joe Rogan uses it, so everybody
Yeah.
has to fucking use it.
Maybe season 3. Maybe season 3. Damn. So
Yeah,
what are we?
it's an
Season
investment.
2, episode 3?
It's already season 2.
Yeah. Well, we did 8 episodes, and then we did 2. We did like a 3-week break. Then we
Are
did
y'all
2.
still doing the other pod? Like the one that, whatever it was. Yeah.
Oh no, that was that.
That was our old pod.
So
from
was
like-
that season 1, or y'all already done 2
No, no,
seasons
no,
of
We
this?
never.
no.
That was like a podcast me and Russell did like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago. That shit never worked. Or it worked, but we just quit on it because 5 people in one room on the same time is
Yeah,
very
it's not
impossible.
fun.
That shit died like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all done so many of these already.
We
Yeah.
have.
So we did all those. That's all season 1. Then we did Matt.
We're
Como.
missing some on there too.
Yeah. So we did 8, and then we had Matt, which was 9. The GM, which was 10. Then we had Sush, that was 11. So you're there 12th episode. Kind of fitting, you know?
Yeah. Why?
I don't know how to take that.
12, you know?
What the fuck?
I don't get it.
I get it, but that,
yeah.
I didn't really see the correlation.
This is white, so.
What? Bro, y'all gotta film me. I'm gonna be like the least cultured.
No.
I have
It's
no
because
clue what
like
y'all are
12,
talking
like
about.
cops are referred to as 12.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I just call cops cops.
making like kind of like just making a racial joke, bro.
Yeah, you didn't grow up.
I got you. Yeah.
You didn't grow up the hood. That's
Nah, but welcome back, guys. This is our first episode in like 3 weeks, I think. Right? Before Aspen. That was 2 weeks ago.
back. Went to Aspen, came back. Apparently, we missed out by not taking Joe with us because he's apparently a professional snowboarder.
I'm not professional.
Yeah.
I would say amateur.
If you look up the X Game 2004, Joe was in the X Games.
I did compete until I was like 15, 16.
You actually competed
Sheesh.
in snowboarding?
Yeah, but I never won. I was always too tall.
What'd you do? Like how? What,
Park. So just like rails and small jumps.
like the terrain part?
Yeah.
Damn.
So what was like the highest level you got to, I guess?
I think like in competition, like 20-foot kickers. So not huge, not like what you're seeing on the X Games and stuff. I think like my best trick I could ever pull was like a backside 540. So like one full rotation and then like another half.
How does that feel? Like, how do you know where you're at
So you
when
didn't
you
know
land?
math.
Yeah, he did kind of assume that like I didn't know what the 540 was.
I'm
He was
telling
like,
you,
yeah,
dude,
so
it's
first you do a 360,
I feel like
and then you do half of
I was
one.
like, damn. Honestly,
Like, yeah, bro, I knew
All
it
right.
was.
it was
No,
good
no.
that you said that because, like, honestly, like a 540.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
At
540, I was
first,
like, what?
bro, I feel like
What's
your
a-
audience is like young kids. Like
Yeah.
they don't do math. They play
What's a-
Fortnite all day.
What's a kicker?
Like the actual jump.
Oh, so you got 20 feet in the air.
No. Like a 20-foot kicker is probably like a 5-foot jump with like a 20-foot land. Like so, basically from where you take off to where the landing is.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And so
actually don't know
you
if that's
did
correct
you
or
did a
not.
540.
That was like the best trick I could pull at the time. I think I was
Yeah.
like 15, 16.
Yeah. So how does that feel though? Because like, how do you know when you're like? Because when I was watching the Olympics and shit, it was like, how do they even know where they're at when they're doing these like 1080s and like
Dude, at that, I don't know. I mean, a 540, like for me, especially at my height, I'm
Yeah.
like chucking it as hard as I can. And like, I'm just happen to landing where I kind of need to land. I mean, once you do it enough, you get used to
Yeah.
it. Trampoline parks a lot. You go sit there and do like 540 on a trampoline over and over again. You get
Yeah.
into that like rhythm.
A trampoline? What do you mean?
Like jump on trampoline and just do 540s, like on your feet.
On your feet. Okay.
Yeah, just get used to that rotation. And then, so like if you want to learn how to do a 360, I would say like start doing 360s on like flat ground. You can actually they have snowboards that are like foam, and you can jump on a trampoline with them. So you can actually get the feeling exactly what you want to do, like backflips and stuff, and then go take it to.
Damn.
I've
Take
never
it to
been.
the snow.
I've never been that kind of guy that just wants to just throw my body around like that.
It's a weird thing for me. I got too tall. That was I used to do like all the extreme sports, and like I got way too tall. All those guys are tiny. Like if you see snowboarders, they're all like 5 foot.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
I can imagine. You're 7 foot, right? So I can imagine someone who's 7 foot doing
Yeah. The Great Khali.
Chill.
fucking 720s and shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Where were you doing this in Winter Park when you were 15, 16?
Yeah, mostly Winter Park, Breckenridge a couple times, Steamboat, all Colorado though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever snowboarded on the West Coast?
No.
East
no.
Coast. East Coast. No, West Coast. West Coast.
Neither. Honestly, I think everything I've done is Colorado and Wyoming. I've never been. I want to do Mammoth. I heard Mammoth's supposed to be
Yeah, I want to too.
pretty epic.
I want to too.
It's far though.
Joe, man. So give us a little introduction, because people always give us shit in the comments about like not introducing our guests. And I think it's partly because like we already know you, so it's like
Fair
you know,
enough.
You know, why are we gonna introduce
How-
you?
how far back
to
do you wanna
ourselves? I mean,
When you came out the womb.
yeah, pretty much, man. Like,
So I came out at like 6'2".
okay,
No,
sounds brutal.
yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Now that I think about it. No, I started. So I actually used to do videography back in the day. So I've always done software development, and I did videography. We used to do like weddings and stuff, like a quick way to make a buck on a weekend. And that's how I met Christian doing. A friend of mine, mutual friend, was like, you know, you make cool videos. My friend has a YouTube channel. At the time, I didn't know you can make money on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
that was insane idea to me that you can make money on social media.
How old were you?
Dude, that was like right out of high school. I was probably like 19, 20 maybe. Met Christian. I ended up doing like 5 or 6 videos for him, and we just became really good friends. And during that, I was like, well, I'd say about 2 years after I met Christian, I'm like, if I'm the one editing the videos and making videos, like, why not do it for myself? So
Yeah.
also, on top of everything else, I'm a big car fanatic. So I've always had cars in the garage and, you know, going on car events and stuff. So it was like, I'll make YouTube videos about that. And that's pretty much it. So I would say professionally, I'm a software developer. And then on the side, I have a car YouTube channel. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's
How would
pretty
you?
much it.
Why would? How would you say you got good at like being like so tech savvy? Like just is it?
Dude, I have no clue. I've tried to explain it before. I've always been into computers. So I actually grew up in like this small house out on some land. We had no internet until I probably didn't have anything outside of dial-up until I was in like 8th grade.
Damn.
So pretty much all of middle school and stuff, like all my friends are playing Halo and whatever, and they have Xboxes and all that. Like I had no gaming consoles. I had no internet.
Why was
So
that? Your dad
it just
doing
wasn't where we lived. There wasn't. So they had at the time, I think they had like satellite internet, but nothing
Yeah.
that would actually like not fast enough to do anything besides like check the email. Like,
Where
that
the
was
hell?
it.
Where did you grow up?
It's at like kind of the backside of Sugarland, over like behind Elkins, before
yeah.
it was all Riverstone.
Yeah. Like Oilfield, like that.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
closed
yeah.
off area.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, I think that like deprivation made me want to get into computers so bad because I never had one. So I didn't get my
Yeah.
first laptop till I was like a freshman in high school. So I think when I got it, I'm like, I want to know everything about it. And it kind of just went from there. I worked at a car dealership. I was a used car salesman for a little bit,
What?
which was a slimy
Jesus.
slimy position. I couldn't do it, but a place called Motorworks.
When?
18, 19.
What?
Yeah, straight out of high school. Basically, my dad wanted me to go to college. I hated school. I was like, I'm not. So he was like, if you get a legit job, you don't have to go to college. So I went and got a job at a car dealership, and I sold exotics.
Really?
I mean, we had like an occasional Ferrari. It was mostly like GTRs, like M3 BMW, like random middle tier sports cars, I guess.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and while I was working there, I was a used car salesman, dude. Like,
Middle tier is just crazy.
Yeah, middle tier
But
is
yeah,
funny.
you're right. You're
But
right.
that is a middle
I mean,
tier.
yeah, we
though.
weren't selling like Lambos nonstop. Like it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
40 grand to like 100 grand territory.
Yeah.
That's a hard job. Like if you ever want to like go down that rabbit hole, like that's a whole nother, you got to be a special kind of person to be a used car dealership, like salesman. Cause you know, everything's fucked up. Like I would know that I'm selling a guy a car that is fucked. Can I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to like, I mean, I can't tell them that. I'm trying to make a buck. So I mean, you have to be like kind of a slimy individual to like. There's no good used car dealerships.
Slime ball.
When you say fucked, are you saying that like
I just knew like the
value-
transmission's pretty messed up, or it's gonna need this service, or like I'm selling it for way more than it's worth. And I mean, you're convincing most of the time it's like older dudes that don't really know. They just want a Ferrari. So you're like, oh, this is the one. But like,
What's the most fucked deal that you did?
And who is the person?
That you can
I don't know
remember?
the person. I got fucked myself, but
Pause.
Yeah,
I,
crazy.
no, I got fucked. I didn't fuck myself.
We paused.
no, I got
saved-
fucked this free.
We save people on these podcasts.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. We've had some moments on here that they just be letting shit fly.
We
That
have to
was
save
crazy.
you on that.
He was like, I got fucked. Like, if we just clip that, bro, that's a meme, man.
We have to save people on that because if someone clips that,
Yeah.
it's like
No,
something-
yeah, I appreciate that. So, all right, let's
Bro.
let's slow it down.
Yeah, slow it down.
Please.
So, there was a younger dude. I think military, which those are the easiest people to get because
Yeah.
they get paid like big bucks pretty quickly. So you have these guys that at the time we were like still in a war, so they come out of Iraq or whatever with like 80 grand cash, and they want Corvettes, GTRs, like all of them. That's just like it's not even a stereotype; it's a real thing.
Yeah. Challengers now, right?
At the time, yeah, well,
Maybe,
Challengers
yeah.
were a thing. Yeah.
Challengers,
Yeah.
Chargers.
But like
all
Mustangs,
my friends
all
who go
that
to the
stuff.
military, they love those things.
It's just like it's like a rite of passage. Like you get your first check and you
Yeah,
just go goodbye.
it's
buy a
like it's
car.
honestly part of like if do you really go to the military if you don't have a Challenger?
when
Like-
they get special financing.
oh for real?
Yeah, like
Jeez.
active military, you can get like special deals on fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
we sold him a GTR that someone had like tuned the shit out of, and it was definitely not covered under warranty. And then when we bought it, we put it back to stock, and we did not disclose that at all. So that car had probably been launched like 100 times, was not under warranty or anything, and the guy bought it thinking it was like perfect babied car, full warranty, all that. And the transmission actually like blew like 3 months after we sold it, and he came back, and the manager was like, "Sorry, I can't do anything." Like,
Because
he
it's been
bought it.
launched so many times.
Yeah. So like he bought that car for like 70. It was probably worth closer to like 60 at the time, and then the transmission was like 30 grand.
Jeez,
So like that one was pretty. Yeah, I actually quit. I only worked there for like maybe 6 months because I couldn't do it. I felt so bad all the time. I was like,
Damn.
it's a hard, and it's not just that. I'm not like calling out that dealership. It's all of them. Like that's just to be in the car world. Nowadays a little bit easier because with the market. So like I don't think like if you go buy a used car, I'm not saying you're gonna get
Yeah,
screwed.
yeah. But there's CARFAX now.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And that was what happened to me. The owner of that dealership sold me a Corvette. And at the time, I trusted the guy. I'm like, yeah, it'll be all right. Bought the car, clean Carfax, all that. Took it in for service like 3 months later, and they're like, hey, their hood doesn't shut right, and the doors don't shut right. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, it only had like 5,000 miles on it. So I took it to get traded in. I was looking at getting a GTR, and they ran the Carfax, had a bad Carfax. And the guy asked me, he's like, hey, do you have a clean car? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And he runs it, and it's got like a major front-end collision reported.
Damn.
So apparently this happens to a lot of people, but I guess sometimes Carfax takes a little bit to post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the accident happened 2 months before I bought the car, but it wasn't on the record yet. So I bought it thinking it was a clean Carfax, took it to trade it in and realized it wasn't, and it was in like a major accident. And the owner of the dealership knew. Because like anyone that put it on a lift would have known, because I guess there's all kinds of stuff wrong with it. I just kind of took it at fat. I'm like, oh, okay, be a good deal. And
Did you tell him anything?
no, I mean, I had already quit before that, so it was
you
already
were
kind
just
of
like,
like a
whatever.
weird spot. And it
Yeah.
was just like, I mean, nothing I can do about it. He claimed he didn't know, but I'm like, there's no, like anyone that put on a lift would have been able to tell. I should have been able to tell. I just wasn't paying attention.
Nowadays, people, when they get in a car accident, especially with exotic cars, they won't claim it like on insurance or anything like that. They'll just go to like an auto collision store. and
Yeah,
just
I mean,
go
we'll
fix it.
do everything we can to keep it off the Carfax.
Yeah.
Because a bad Carfax will tank a car, and even if it's not that bad. Because on Carfax, it doesn't really tell you what happened, right? It'll just be like there's just an item. It'll say like major collision or like minor, but that could be anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
half the car could have gotten ripped off, and it could be listed as minor, and you could have gotten like a small fender bender, and it's listed as major. So if you see anything on the Carfax, like typically it just drops the value.
Damn.
So,
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, if you're driving your G and someone like hits you from behind and it's going to be like less than $2,000 to fix, just do it off the record. Because if that bad Carfax comes up with your insurance, like your G just lost $40,000 in value.
Jeez,
So it's,
man.
yeah, it happens to a lot of people. When Christian got in the accident in his Huracan,
Right,
it
yeah.
was, I mean, they ended up, I think they totaled it, so it worked out. But if they wouldn't have, you would have lost so much money on that car.
What about the range? Remember, we came back from whatchamacallit?
Yeah, I do remember
A
that.
tree. So we went somewhere. I think we went to Toronto or something together. Me and Christian. And were you on that trip or no?
No.
Me and Christian went to Toronto together, and he parked his Range outside of my apartment at the time. the black on black range he had, and we came back. Bro, this is the craziest day of my life. We came back, and there was like a fucking like stack of like
It was 2x4s, wasn't
yeah
it?
2x4s just like through his car.
Yeah.
Like through the back window, through the front, like just in his like just sitting there.
I think they said, I think it was on a forklift and they turned too fast and it all slid off and just went through
Just
the
like
front
perfectly?
windshield and went
Yeah.
straight into the back. But like a lot, like
Bro,
100 pieces of wood.
They destroyed they destroyed a beautiful Range Rover. Just destroyed it.
And I think, didn't it happen like the day, it happened before y'all got back. Like, I
Yeah.
think they like taped up the window and put a note on it or
Yeah,
something.
but
Like,
the
they,
wood, like
tried
it was
to-
just like
Yeah.
there. And like, bro, can you imagine coming back from a trip in your car, that a beautiful Range Rover that you drive, you come back, it's just slaughtered.
Yeah.
I remember he tried to like, it was in the shop for like almost like 6 months, and then when he got it back, it was worth like nothing, right? Pretty much.
I mean, I don't want to like get into his business, but I
Yeah.
think I want to say that he bought that brand new for like 112, and I think he put a lot of miles on it and he did beat the shit out of it, but like I'm pretty sure when he traded in it was worth like 20.
Wow.
That's that's all Range Rovers though. Like anybody's ever bought a Range Rover, like you buy them for 120 and you're lucky to get out them for like 50 3 years later. Like it's just part of it.
Yikes. So, but you're actually buying a new Range, right? I was going to ask,
I'm
would you
trying to,
recommend
yeah.
buying a brand new Range then?
I mean, okay, so you want to talk about like the current market? Because the current market's completely different than any other time in history.
Well, yeah,
like
that's true.
normally I would say never buy anything new unless it's rare. So unless you're buying, a GT3 or a Pista or something like that. Right now with the shortages, everything's rare. So
Yeah.
at the moment, anything new, there's a current like influx of cash. So people that normally wouldn't be buying cars are buying cars.
Yeah.
So like it's unheard of. I mean, people were paying what 100 over for a G-Wagon. That's a crazy proposition. Like pay me $100,000 just to buy it at full value, and they're doing it. So I mean, at the moment, if you can buy anything MSRP, buy it. Why not? You're not gonna lose any money on it.
You can make money on it.
Maybe not like a Kia or something.
Yeah,
but like
but like-
anything. I mean, dude, even I think Model 3s are going over right now. Like anything you can get your hands on is, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Streets are crazy. So, kind of like going back to, like, I know you kind of talked about how you met Christian, but like, because I've always wondered like how, because you're like the only like non-fitness like influencer that hangs out with him like consistently. So like, how did that come about to where like you're actually like friends with Christian, Mac, Shawley, etc.?
That's another one of those, like, I have no clue. So when I started my YouTube channel at the time, Christian was really like, you're going to get in shape. Like I was working out with him every day. Which also like genetics doesn't. So Christian was convinced that like, I just need to eat more. So when I met Christian, he was like, oh bro, like we're going to bulk up. And I think I put on like 20 pounds and like he lost it immediately and got shredded. And I was just like kind of tubby. I'm just like, bro, we would go to like Carrabba's and he'd be like, eat 2 bowls of fettuccine if you want to get big.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah.
Oh my
I think this
God.
might've been like before like the science. Oh
my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I just never really got into working out, and I've always like loved cars. And I think a little bit of me was always like, I don't want to be like I don't want to say a mooch, but like I didn't want to be like my success is from his success.
Yeah.
And I think staying out of fitness let me kind of like promote that a little bit more. Like my following, I think there was definitely some crossover. I think like by the time I posted my first video, I had like 5,000 subs, which I think is probably really hard to do for a normal person that doesn't have a YouTuber friend. But I always like the idea that like my subs, I don't think are the same as his. Like we'd be out eating and someone come say hi to me and not say anything to him. And I'm like, that's where like, if you're in the fitness bubble, it's like everyone's got the same 20,000
100%.
or whatever followers. It's like, so I think that was the majority of it. And I don't really work out.
Yeah.
I'm not a.
Well, no, I mean, I was talking more so like when, like, how did your friendship, like,
I think
kind of just like grow into being actual friends from like just like videographer?
Yeah,
like,
I think
you know what I mean, type shit?
I think that kind of helped that I wasn't in the fitness industry, because I think when we hung out, we weren't talking. I think all day, all he talked about was fitness nonstop. So when me and him hung out, it was like video games and cars and whatever. So Christian's low key like a big car guy. Like he won't tell anybody that, but like he's really, or he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, now he just sits in a dark hole upstairs all day. But at one point, he was a car guy.
Huge car guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that helped though. I think us not being like in the same industry like helped a lot. Because even after I started, I only filmed for him for like 3 or 4 videos before it was like, I think I did some promo work for Alphalete, but I started doing all the website and the tech side of Alphalete. So I think we were just really good friends because of that. And then he bought a house, and then he went through a breakup, and then he wanted someone to live in the house, so he asked me if I wanted to be in his room, and then just kind of went from there. Max was like immediate. Like Max came in town one time and me and Max started talking. And like by the first night Max was there, I don't think like Max was like hanging out with me more than Christian. Yeah. I'm not sure how that worked out, but like probably the second time I met Max, we were already like really good friends. And then we lived together for a while. And
it's kind of how it was with me and Max. I think when I met Max for the first time, we kind of hit it off. He's just an easy person.
He's a likable dude.
Yeah.
Like he's
to an extent, yeah.
He's still annoying sometimes, but yeah, he's
crazy.
Nah, he's definitely super easy to get along with. Like very easy to get along with.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I agree with you. I think all your followers, or a majority of your followers, I mean all of them honestly in my opinion, definitely follow you and relate to you because, I mean, obviously what you do with the tech stuff, and then also you're extremely big into cars and stuff like that. And a lot of people that I know that you don't know will reach out to me and ask me and like tell me like, yo, do you know Joe? And how do you know Joe? I watch all his car YouTube videos, which is crazy because a lot of people watch your videos solely because they believe your editing skills are like phenomenal, which I agree they are phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate that. It sucks because I'm out of it right now. I think I post less videos than you do right now.
But I think you've been out of it for like
I know. But like I at least
I don't remember the last time you were like just dropping videos. Yeah,
it's the tech stuff. I'm so busy right now with the tech side of it, and like I started that company and it's doing well, but like I just don't have.
You don't have time.
I have free time. It's just I think since I'm not relying on YouTube for a living, or really even like I think it's different when you've done a really good job like separating you from Inaka. I mean, it's still your thing, but like it's not required that you post a video to sell something.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, like they have to keep up that social media thing. And that's what I didn't want to do. And I think because I'm not relying on YouTube for my income, it's so easy for me to be like, yeah, like I'll do it tomorrow. Like I'll do it the next day. It's really easy to put that off.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I get home late, I'm tired. It's like, do I want to watch a movie or edit a video? Like I'm gonna watch a movie. Like,
exactly.
I'm just kind of lazy on
sometimes it's cool to have it like that though. Like I feel like you have that like natural talent when it comes to like the tech stuff and all that stuff, all the stuff that you're good at right now. But you don't necessarily, like you said, you don't necessarily have to do it. So it's like whenever you do hop on it,
it's like it's a moment.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. I'll get inspired. I'll watch like a Top Gear or something. I'm like, I gotta make a cool car video, and that's usually when I'll come out with them. Or like the GT3, like a car comes in, and I'm like, all right, I told the dealership I was gonna film it, so I got to make a video.
That is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, to be able to own all these cars and then make a video about it, like badass videos about it.
That was funny enough. When I started my YouTube channel, I think the main thing that I was like, I got to start a YouTube channel was because I couldn't get my hands on cars. It was I've always wanted the GT3s and stuff, and the dealerships would like laugh me out. Like you'd walk in and be like, "Oh, can I order one?" And they'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here, kid." So I think the YouTube channel gave me that like platform of like, "Oh, you guys want some promotion? Give me a car." And
that's smart.
They do it. I'm like, okay, it still shocks me, dude. Like that's.
So have you ever? Well, first off, actually, before I even ask that, like, how did you get? Like, what got you into cars? Because like for me personally, like I like nice cars, but I've never been like a car guy.
Dude, I was like a little Hot Wheels. So I grew up on dirt bikes and stuff. Like as long as I can remember, I had a like a 50cc dirt bike on training wheels when I was like 6.
Yeah. Jeez.
So as long as I can remember, I've been like into motors and stuff. So then as you get older, it was, and I grew up riding motocross. I actually competed in that too. Another thing I got too tall for. And then I got into motorcycles a little bit, and then I kind of realized like I'm gonna die if I ride motorcycle. Like I'm the kind of guy that like I can't go 20 miles an hour. Like I'm doing 150 if I get on a bike. So it was like, all right, let's go to sports cars. Let's not, at least maybe there's a chance that I walk away from a sports car. So yeah, I mean, as long as I can remember, like Gone in 60 Seconds, Hot Wheels, pretty much anything to do with cars. Just like I used to watch Gone in 60 Seconds you ever seen that movie?
No.
You probably hate it. I tell everyone it's like the best movie of all time, and everyone watches like that kind of sucked. And I'm like, all right.
All Nicolas Cage movies are horrible.
Yeah, man. Nicolas Cage fucking sucks.
He's a fucking shitty ass actor.
It's like I feel like he was like
he has a cult like following for sure.
No. What's the Treasure one? That's pretty good.
National Treasure.
It's all right. Is that?
Bro, that's not bad.
He's a horrible actor.
No, it's his face. Like he's not bad. Like I don't think his acting's bad, but like when I see his face, I'm just like, oh. My God.
Bro, it's kind of
because it's kind of like oval shaped. Like it's like wide, but it's like long.
Bro, I tell my dad he kind of looks like Nicolas Cage.
That's crazy.
So when you see my dad next time, if you're like,
you don't look that much.
He's
like
a little
Nicolas
bit,
Cage,
dude. It's a little. So.
Nicolas Cage does fucking suck. I like that you agree with me because like I always tell people Nicolas Cage sucks.
Did you watch Talladega
Well, so you
Nights?
have seen or Gone in 60 Seconds because you knew Nicolas Cage. I didn't say that. You said that.
I've seen it. It's a
so I think that's the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I watched that, bro. The scene when they jump the 911, when they steal the 911 in the beginning, like jumping out of the dealership, like that is like baked into my mind at all times.
Maybe you want to go do that with
I was gonna say you want to do that, huh?
I mean, nah, but it's just like if you haven't seen it, just watch the opening 10 minutes of Gone in 60 Seconds. If you're a car person.
What about Talladega Nights?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a car movie though, but that's 10 out of 10.
Did it inspire?
That's like a cult classic.
Did it inspire you to go fast?
Nah.
No,
not that one. I'm not a big NASCAR guy, dude. I know stereotypically I should like NASCAR, but
yeah. Didn't say
So
that.
what was your first car actually?
I was gonna ask that next.
Not even like nice or like your first
vehicle.
my
you-
like
first
first vehicle that
vehicle-
you actually drove,
my
like high
dad
school or whatever.
my dad gave me my car actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some shit for that. Like fucking daddy's trust fund baby.
Nah.
But
My dad gave me my first car too. I don't think that's like not that.
well, it was
that's
a pretty
normal.
nice car though. It wasn't like a. So he gave me. I think I got my license in 2010, and I got a 06 Tahoe. I think it was like a Z71, had like 70,000
Oh,
miles. on it.
Z71.
That was my dream.
It was pretty dope.
In middle school, in high school, that was my dream.
Well, that was
car.
the whole like Rob Deerdeck time period
Yeah.
where that
Yeah.
fucking
Big
Tahoe
had
was,
one.
yeah.
Big
So
had
everybody
one.
wanted
a
that
black
thing,
on black
so-
one, right? Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I went a little hard on that thing. I put 26s on it.
Whoa.
Yeah,
awesome.
I had black. It was murdered out with like red
I think I've
blips on the
seen-
wheels.
I
and
think
Yeah,
that-
you
oh
was on
my
some hood shit.
bro, there
You
was
sound hood as fuck.
no, there was like a couple situations where like I
What'd you?
don't know if I want to go down
Yeah.
this road or not, but
Nah,
like
go down it.
so there would be times I get pulled over.
You're going down yourself, by the way.
No, I know. This isn't bad. If anything, I'm like,
Yeah.
I-
It's like
Yeah,
I'm
no.
supporting the blacks.
yeah. That's what he wanted to say. Yo, like he gets pulled over, and they're like, I know what you're about to say.
no.
actually.
So I get pulled because I had like limo tint on the whole thing. So I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
this like 17-year-old little white boy. So I get pulled over, and like every time I get pulled over, I promise you like 10 cop cars would show up before they would walk to my window. And they would walk up, and I'd roll down my window, and they'd like start laughing, and they'd be like, "Oh, see you later, Rick," and they'd all leave, and there'd be like
Oh
one
my
cop
gosh.
left. But every time I got pulled over in that thing, at least 5 cops would show up. I'd sit there for 10 minutes waiting for more cops to get there, and they'd all walk up together, and I'm like, "What do you like?"
They thought you were on some like.
It's a
drug deal.
stereotypical
Yeah, it
like
is
drug dealer
It
car.
did look like a drug dealer
Yeah,
car for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it
like
was-
you were moving weight if you had a
Yeah.
Z71.
When I didn't know either, I just
Blacked out.
liked black and red.
Yeah.
I didn't realize at the time that that's like a like blood thing. So like
Yeah.
all the red wheels and the red accents and shit. Like I think everyone immediately thought like,
And
Yeah.
it was limo tint too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that's a hood ass.
yeah, it was pretty wild.
What were you wearing at the time? Like, what was your dress code? Like I think
strictly Jordans, dude.
no, I remember like I think there's a picture of you wearing a crazy ass outfit.
Oh, I used to wear like Jordan jumpsuits and shit all the time.
Are you for real?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen pictures of him next to him.
Bro, you were white boy Rick, man.
Yeah.
There's
You were
pictures-
probably moving weight, dude. Like you had to have. Don't lie on this
no.
spot.
There's pictures of
Dude
him.
had an all
What-
black
Isn't there a
Z71.
picture of you wearing like you were wearing some like hood ass outfit, but you had like some hood ass glasses, like sunshades.
Probably.
Bro, he
I was
was
in a
white
different
boy
spot, bro.
Rick.
I saw Malibu's Most Wanted a couple too many times apparently. That was the
What kind of music do you listen to? You were just
Now?
like bang.
Or
No,
then?
back then, yeah.
bro, like Manny Fresh. Pretty much strictly Manny
Bro,
Fresh.
he was hood.
That's right, like David
This is
Banner. I'm trying to think like
insane.
who else was like
This is insane.
Mike, dude. So at the time, my grandma lived next to Mike Jones, like before Mike Jones popped off, and I used to like always I go to my grandma's house and I like try to go by like I'd like go and like knock on his door and like
Damn. Remember we were just
didn't want to
listening
hang out.
We
Sweetwater.
were literally just listening to him the other day.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was a different time, dude. That was,
What was your second car? Actually, give us
I was
a
gonna
list
say,
of your
yeah.
cars.
dude. If you want to go down
Take
the
us
list of
in the
cars, we're gonna be
progression.
here for like 2 hours.
No, let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
that's
like
what-
not
that's
even
what-
flexing.
that's what-
Like it's been I can't even
progression.
remember all of them. So I'm supposed to do. I think I'm gonna do a YouTube video pretty soon, where this company I'm working with is gonna give me a poster of every single car, and I'm gonna like sit in a warehouse and go through every single one. I had to send them the list. So it's like fresh on my mind, but
So from the
the
Z71,
Tahoe
yeah.
from the Tahoe we went to a Camaro. I had a
how many,
SS.
how long do you drive the?
I had the Tahoe for probably 3 years. I
Okay.
think that was probably the longest I've ever owned a vehicle was the Tahoe.
Yeah.
Tahoe went into the Camaro, which I think was like a 2012 SS, blacked out, like satin black stripes on it. It was pretty dope. From that, we went into a Corvette Z06,
Jeez.
which had way too many miles on it. That was one of those like, I think I just started making a little bit of money. We are doing like wedding films on the side and stuff, and like still at the time my dad was helping me out a little bit, and it was
Yeah.
like so that was I think it was a 07 Z06 Corvette, had like 80,000 miles on it. I think I bought it for like 32 grand or something, or 28 or something. And that was by far, that car tried to kill me. That was my favorite car I've ever owned, but that car tried to kill you every time you drove it.
Damn.
It was like downpipe or headers and I think like full bolt on, it was probably making like 600 horse, 550 at the wheels, give or take.
Jeez.
Manual. I mean, that car was fucking terrifying.
Jeez.
And I was I was like 19. So like it was a terrible idea to anybody to let me drive that car, but somehow or another it was all right. It was yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a picture of it.
That was my favorite. Like to this day, everything I've owned, I would go back in time to get that car. Like that was the sickest car I think I've ever owned. Just so much fun to drive. Out of that, we went into the first GTR, Nissan. I don't remember what year it was. It was white. Traded the GTR in for an Audi RS5. Traded the RS5 in for another GTR, a purple one, like a Midnight Opal edition or something. Shit. Now I think it gets a little weird. I think I traded that in for a GT4. That was my first Porsche. And this is like around the time that I'm like actually starting to make a little bit of money. And I was still living at home. So the crazy thing with like the software and stuff is like you don't have to go to school for it. And if you find your right niche, you can make a lot of money. Is that how you say that word? I never know if it's niche or niche. Yeah, anyway.
Niche.
Yeah, I mean,
Niche. I think it's niche.
Either way, when you find that though, like you can make, I mean, it wasn't insane money, but I was probably like 20 making like $3,000 a month, give or take, which like at 20, when you live at home, $3,000 a month's a lot. Like, I mean, your car payment on a GTR was like $1,500. So it was like, this is, yeah, I got a GT4. I think I traded the GT4 in for a Rover. That was a gray one. I think that's probably when I met you.
The gray autobiography.
Yeah, I had an M4 somewhere in there. I need to like get a proper list.
The GT4 was red, right?
The first one was white. I had a white one when I first met Christian. Then I got a Rover. Then I got a red GT4. I've had a lot of the same cars. You can tell I like certain cars because I've had.
Yeah.
There was a Raptor somewhere in there too. So I had one Gen 1 Raptor. See, now I'm off. I don't know the progression anymore. But basically, I had two GT4s, two GTRs. I had two Z06 Corvettes. I bought a white one later on. That was the one that I got burned on that didn't end up being right. We got the GT3. That was the first big boy car I think I ever bought, was the GT3.
What was the GT3 though?
It was a 2015. It had a lot. I bought it with like 45,000 miles on it. At the time, it was like 110,000, 120, which is crazy because that car right now is like 150, 160. Like they actually went back up.
What color was it?
Black with red wheels. It was pretty insane.
I can't remember.
It was badass. Yeah, but that was the first big car I think I ever bought, was that one, where I was like a lot of money every month, but also like that car like turned heads and shit. You take it to a car show, people were like, oh my God. Yeah. We had the GT3 RS most recently. We have the GT3 right now. 2 Gen 2 Raptors, 1 Gen 3 Raptor, 2 Gen 1 Raptors. There's probably something I'm missing, but yeah, it's been a lot. There's like a disgusting amount of money thrown away in cars over the years.
And then now you have
right now
the Spider and the
I have a 718 Spider, the Gen 3 Raptor, and a GT3, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking up a GT500 here pretty soon. That's like a fun car. So I think you're beating me right now. I think your current collection is probably if you end up getting the car you're talking about getting, I think your current collection is probably cooler than mine.
Shout out Dan from Ghost. It's a quick commercial.
No, I hope I'm able to. I think you were definitely a part of the reason. I mean, obviously, I think when you get to a point where you're able to afford nice things, you obviously get into these nice things. But also watching you from back, if we're dating back to 2015, 2016, being around you at that time, and then also seeing you have all these cars, you and Christian, honestly, at those times, 2015, 2016, and so forth, being able to see you guys have these vehicles and then also like be able to drive in these vehicles, sit in these vehicles. When I got to the point where I can finally afford these things, obviously in a smart way, I would definitely I started getting a lot more interested in these things.
Yeah, I didn't no clue you were into cars, and then like over the course of like 6 months, your collection popped off, and like, oh,
well, yeah, I mean, everyone wants like. I think the first thing I bought for myself that was like nice. It wasn't even that nice looking back at it, but like the first thing I bought for myself that was nice was like the Macan. Remember?
Yeah, didn't you have a Rover?
But the Rover was after Macan.
Was it? Yeah. I think I did a video on your Macan.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I
like the Macan.
It was just not my style.
No, but it's a good. I to this day, like if I had to get a daily tomorrow for like under 75, I get a Macan.
That's interesting.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun to drive. It's like it's a good entry Porsche.
It was just it was a tiny ass car, and it was just not the thing. But anyway, that was my first car, and then
Slight flex.
eventually I went into the Range Rover Autobiography. No, it was a supercharged, and then after that I did the new Range, and then after that was just the G.
You had the Raptor. You had a Gen 2 for like a very short period of time.
Yeah, I had a Gen 2.
Yeah.
Gen 2.
It was like G, then Raptor, and then Raptor 3, and then the Brabus,
and 911.
and then
911. Yeah.
Now that you have a Porsche, like now you understand why I'm so like.
Yeah.
I've definitely, since I've gotten older, like I've always been into Porsche, but I've really narrowed it down in the last like 5 years to like I only want to buy Porsche. If I'm buying an expensive car, it's gonna be a Porsche.
Yeah.
I think now for sure, unless I go bankrupt or some shit, like my business goes bankrupt, I think I must have.
We won't let that one happen.
I must have a Porsche in my garage, no
They're-
matter what.
they're
I can
insane.
trade out the G, I can trade out everything else, but a Porsche is like a staple in my garage now.
They
for
are.
sure.
It's crazy. So I've been in like the car world before you could make money on car, before you're not losing money. So like I've lost so much money in cars. Like pretty much every time you buy a car that's over 75 grand, you're losing 10 grand.
Yeah.
100%. The minute you drive that car off the lot, 10 grand's gone. But now we're in a different world. Now you can buy a car and make 50 grand overnight. It's like, oh,
You can still
this is
drive it
cool.
for a couple thousand miles too.
Yeah. So now it's a good time to be a car collector. If you have a connection to get you the cars, right now is a great time.
I just
But-
hate the wait time.
Yeah.
The wait time is unnecessary.
Historically, I have people all the time. They're like, how do you have so many cars and you didn't lose? Like when I talk about that list of cars, like, how do you have so many cars? You're not just throwing away money. I'm like, oh no, there's been a lot of money thrown away.
Man. Yeah.
What's like
It's definitely
the worst?
expensive.
What do you think is the worst like deal, or not? I don't want to say worst deal, but like the most money you lost. On
So the
something.
most I've lost on anything, I bought a brand new Mercedes E63S for
You forgot to mention that one.
yeah.
I was literally gonna ask if you ever owned any
I had
Mercedes.
a G wagon too. That's where this is going. Yeah, I had a G63. So
Bro, you just forgot those cars.
What?
so
He just was like, yeah, I had a G wagon.
the G was a flip. I had the G for maybe a month. So
that's wavy.
that it kind of goes into this. But the worst I've ever lost on any individual car was a E63S Edition
remember that.
1. I bought it. Yeah, we went to.
We drove. That was when I first met Casey. We drove to Lake Charles together in it.
Yeah, we went through some crazy ass town too.
Yeah, that
I
was
remember
crazy.
That. Shawn was freaking the fuck out.
That was crazy.
Anyway,
That
yeah,
was 4 years ago.
that car I bought for 138. Didn't have a trade or anything, so it was like paid tax on it and everything, brand new. And I think I sold it for like 80, like 8 months later.
Oh my!
So it was like
God.
a $60,000 loss on that thing. Yeah,
Jeez.
but I bought it to get my name on the list for the G63 Edition 1, and I had
Okay.
one of the first ones in the U.S., and I made way more money profit on that than I lost on the E. So
How much did you make on that?
I think I was out the door with that for like 275, and it actually went to China. Mercedes, I'm gonna get blacklisted on this podcast shit. I think the guy
Yeah.
that bought it from me bought
China's
it for
brave.
240. I think
240?
I think
Yeah.
so. So I think I cleared like 60. So I basically made back
Yeah,
but I got to own some cool cars for pretty much free.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So
That
like
was-
when was the first time? Because I was gonna ask earlier, like when you built up your YouTube, like have you ever gotten like paid promotion as far as like
Oh, yeah,
from
100%.
from a dealership or like
No. So, dude, it still blows my mind to this day. When I started, nowadays, if I'm like, hey, I want to review a Urus, I can go get one from Lamborghini. Like I'm at the point now where I have enough connections and stuff where like I can go grab one for a weekend. I know somebody that'll loan me a car. But when I first started, I had no connections or anything, and it's people that just wanted to see their cars on video.
yeah.
So I'd have these like older dudes. The craziest thing that ever happened, I did a 570S. The dude literally texted me on Instagram, was like, hey, I want you to do a video on my 570S. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, pick it up from this address. I go to the address on like a Saturday morning. The car's sitting there, keys in it, outside like a building in Houston, not even his house. I'm like, texting him, like, hey, you good? He's like, yeah, just take it, have fun. I'm like, all right. Took the car for a weekend, dropped it back off. He's like, yeah, leave the keys inside. I'll get it tomorrow. I'm like, that is insane. That's a $270,000 car, give or take. And like, just no fucks
throwing it
given.
out. Yeah.
Pretty much all the initial videos I ever did were just random people reach out to me and be like, hey, do you want to take my Lamborghini for a day? And I'm like,
Yeah.
which is crazy from now owning these cars. I'm like, I would not
Just
give some
give
random.
some
I mean,
kid,
I have like
yeah.
a big following. I'm like, if some dude with 30,000 subs on YouTube hit me up tomorrow, like, hey, can I take your GT3 for the weekend? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, Shmi could, big car YouTuber, hit me up. I'm like, no, you're not taking my car.
Yeah.
That's crazy that like, I'm grateful for it, I guess. I mean, I had people loaning me like Aventadors and like $600,000 cars. Now I'm insured for it, but at the time I don't even think I was insured.
Damn.
I mean, I had insurance, but not to cover like I think I did
that amount that you're.
Yeah. I was reviewing $500,000 cars. And I think I had a coverage of like 150. So it's just like
$500,000 car, man.
Yeah.
Like, what is life at that point if you're driving that?
The crazy thing is that's kind of normal now. So when I used to go to car shows as a kid, you know, like someone would pull up in like a 599 GTO or something. That was at the time like a 500, 600,000. That was the craziest thing you've ever seen.
What's a 599 GTO?
Before the F12. So the Ferrari 2 before the 812 was a 599. And the GTO was basically the special edition, like the sporty one. I mean, that showed up. That was insane. Now you go to a car show and like there's every other car is $500,000. Like people don't even look at them anymore.
Damn.
I mean, it's like now you have a hypercar that shows up. So now people will like walk around the 765 LT to go take a picture of the Bugatti. And it's like they don't even care that they're walking around a $600,000 car. Just the amount of money, especially in Houston, is insane right now.
Hypercar is like someone on like a $1 million level.
I think everyone has a different definition for it. I would say, yeah. I think if you're spending over $1 million, I think it's a mixture of how much you're spending, how rare it is, and how fast it is, kind of mixed together.
What are some $1 million cars right now? LaFerrari, of course.
No, LaFerraris are way more.
4 million, right?
I don't even know right now. When they first, so the 918 Spider, when it first came out, was
Travis
like
Scott has one.
800,000 up to like $1 million, depending on how you spec'd it out. But now they're worth like 2 point something. So,
Bro,
Drake has one and Travis has one.
yeah. Now $1 million's like an entry level hypercar.
That's insane.
Like now $1 million's.
Well, I would let
like
Trav borrow mine, but he has to give it back. So
yeah.
shit's weird. Like ever since the shit happened, like I don't want to bug him. And
Yeah.
stuff.
No, now $1 million actually doesn't get you a whole lot in the hypercar community anymore. Like now that's. Like if you went to someone and said I want to get a hypercar for $1 million, like they'd probably tell you like you got to come up a little bit, like $1 million.
What is considered a hypercar?
See,
What are your hypercars? What hypes you up on cars?
Is that how we're doing it? I mean, it fluctuates, dude. Like so, I would say in my mind, the 918, obviously, the Bugatti, the Pagani, the Koenigsegg. Like you got a lot of cars that are like, in my head, they're hypercars. Where the line gets weird is like a McLaren Senna. Badass car. I don't know if I would classify as a hypercar though. It's not the most insane thing in the world, but they're still $2 million.
Yeah.
A Aventador SVJ. That's $1 million car right now.
Really?
Is it an Aventador hypercar? I don't think so. But you're paying $1 million for it, and it's rare. So like, I don't know where that line falls for like super to hyper.
So it's not based on performance. That's what I thought. I thought that's what like.
I mean, if it is, a Plaid's a hypercar.
Yeah.
So I feel like you got to. I'm sure there's some governing factor out there that decides this shit, but I don't know how.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of like NFTs, man.
I don't want to, dude.
Haha.
I don't get it.
It's kind of like NFTs, man.
NFTs.
I just don't understand them. I build code. I code all day, every day, and I can't tell you anything about it. I don't understand.
I'm saying it's kind of like NFTs because like with NFTs, like let's say the Bored Ape community, like there's a certain amount of members that can be in the Bored Ape community. You have to buy in to be in that community in order to be in the hypercar group. I mean, I guess hypercars are all personal, I guess, choices or whatever, but if you want to be an owner of a Aventador or SVJ or whatever, you have to buy into that group and be in that club and that community.
I just think when it comes to the cars, it's hard to like, so you have like vintage Ferraris that'll sell for 20 million. Is that a hypercar because it costs 20 million?
Like a Countach or whatever?
Not quite, but yeah, I mean, or like the original Ford GT. Like those are going for like 7 million right now.
Damn.
Is that a hypercar?
Yeah.
It's not very fast. It's not up to, I mean, by today's standards, you would beat it with a GTR, but is it?
Yeah. The ones with those signatures in it?
No. Like the original, like you watch Ford vs. Ferrari?
Yeah.
That car. Like the original Ford GTs are worth insane amounts of money.
Damn.
Man, that car's beautiful.
And then on the flip side, though, like there's kids that take Honda Civics and put 1,000 horsepower in them and they can smoke a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Is that now a hypercar? Like, I don't know how you draw the line at like, I feel like it's a mixture. To me, it's a mixture of kind of all the things.
Yeah.
I think my hypercar is the 918.
To me, that's a hypercar.
That's the best car in the world.
That's the original three. You had the LaFerrari, the 918, and the P1. Those kind of define, and the Bugatti, obviously. Those defined the hypercar for everybody, and now every company's starting to.
It's like
LeBron has that one. That was the one he was on the highway and he like
and
drove off.
It gives me
that
hope
car
that
is fucking insane.
Yeah, that's probably the only hypercar that we fit in.
I think he has to have the roof off though.
Yeah, but like LaFerrari, like you couldn't drive a LaFerrari.
It's too small.
No, I tried to sit in one, I couldn't. It's you watch Ballers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they had one in Ballers, and The Rock couldn't fit in it. So every time he would drive it, it would be someone else, and they just film him stepping in and out because he couldn't drive the thing. Like he did not fit in it.
That sucks,
bro. To own a car like that is insane. Fuck.
Or Drake's got a LaFerrari.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around buying a $1 million car, man.
And dude, it's crazy how many people. So in Houston alone, I know the guys over at Ferrari. So I think at the moment, there's like 15 LaFerraris in Houston.
Sheesh.
You never see them because the people that are buying those cars aren't car people. At that point, I think you're kind of just like a collector. Like you don't. So yeah, I think there's 15 lofts in Houston right now.
Like
But,
what
you
would
never
be
see
the
them.
point of buying that car, but like not driving it?
A lot of people, it's an investment now. Because I mean, think if you bought it brand new for $1 million, now it's worth $6 million. So it's like
Yeah.
you could just kind of sit on it. It's doing better than the dollar's doing. I mean,
Yeah.
Where do you drive that car to? Car shows?
people
car
do.
meets,
I mean,
car
yeah,
meets?
we have car meets here in Houston where like you'll just a random LaFerrari will show up. We
Really?
had the car show at the other day, a 918 just rolled up
Really?
unannounced. Dude just rolled up.
He just chills.
What was he
got out.
doing?
Or nothing. He went and got coffee and left. He
Damn,
just
that's
parked
so
his 918,
wavy,
got
though.
some coffee and went.
That's
In
so
a
wavy.
918.
Yeah.
He just said,
Let me just go get
did
some
he say hi
coffee.
to anyone?
No.
What did he look like?
It's like a older Asian dude.
Yeah.
He's definitely a tech guy.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. It's insane.
Why'd you say that?
I'm just saying, like, tech guys are
Why'd I
usually the
agree?
guys.
Fuck, why'd I agree?
Tech guys are usually the guys that have a lot of
He
money.
could have been in finance.
You're like, why? Yeah, he
he
could have been like a doctor or something.
He could
Or
be
he
an
could've been a
NFL player,
doctor.
dude.
Yeah, he could be an NFL player. He could be a
could.
rapper. He could be a
could.
rapper.
But tech guys are usually like super rich. I'm trying to say,
You got it, dude. I got you.
yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Tech guys are usually
He's
rich.
probably a surgeon, dude.
Or he's probably a surgeon.
a
He
surgeon.
probably owns his own practice.
Bro,
Good.
A
a surgeon goes
918,
crazy.
bro, just pulled up and just. I think he just did it just to flex on y'all and just drive off, right?
I don't. And a lot of the guys that own these cars, that's not their only car. Like I think
Sheesh.
they came out a while back, and someone can check this, but I think Bugatti said that the average Bugatti buyer owns 30 cars before they buy a Bugatti. So it's not like people are just buying a Bugatti. It's like they already own. I think they did this survey, and it was the average Bugatti owner owned. I think it was like 30 cars, 1 jet, and like 2 boats before they even bought a Bugatti. So
How,
it's
does,
like,
how does Floyd Mayweather have all those cars?
he's a lot of money,
Really?
dude. I think he made like
Yeah, if he gets
100 million
100
on one fight.
Yeah, if you
That's
get
true.
100 million a fight and that
That's
shit
true.
costs 5%
Yeah.
of
Even if
100,
40% goes to taxes, you're
One
still
dude, I
have
mean, take
60.
like all the
Bro.
like deals and stuff. Same with,
40%
like, LeBron.
going to taxes is fucked though.
Like how much money is LeBron making on his
Jesus
contract,
Christ.
and how much he's making every month from just deals? Like he
Yeah.
probably can put all of his money from his contract into his bank and just strictly
Yo,
live off
Nike
of
Nike
deals.
definitely
Like,
gave LeBron $1 trillion contract. Like,
That's
dude, that's
bold.
what Kanye said. But like, if you think about it, like to keep LeBron on Nike for the rest of his life and his 2 sons.
I think his contract is going to amount to $1 billion.
dude, I don't know.
no
if we're like,
LeBron 100
$1 billion
has
is
to be
cra- actually,
$1 billion.
$1
no,
billion is
that's
crazy.
a billion's
No,
a billion's an insane number.
Yeah,
no,
that's too
low,
much, that's too
but
much,
it's
that's too much.
LeBron James
No, I
I
get
say
that.
500 million over time.
from Nike alone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
for
I'd buy
sure,
that.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Zion just signed to a $125 million
yeah,
contract.
bro. No, LeBron's
So
a billion.
LeBron's definitely $1 billion. No, I think
Bro.
no, they came out with a study
They
that
gave
said that
LeBron $1 billion
in
not
his
to run
lifetime
away.
when it's done, his contract is going to be valued at $1 billion.
So
Bro, they definitely gave LeBron $1 billion lifetime contract.
I'm sure
Without
like
a doubt.
y'all have these numbers too. But so we had when I was working with Alphalete, and I'm sure I'm not supposed to fucking talk about this, but when we were working with Alphalete, we got sent over
Whoosh
a
bomb.
marketing pack.
Whoosh bomb.
We got a marketing pack from some TikTok, like an agency that's like represents a bunch of these big TikTokers.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if you saw the numbers, you'd be sick. It was. I don't want to like name names and like out them, but like one of the popular girls was $100,000 a post, and she was like booked. Like she only had like 1 day available for the next like month to do it, and she's doing $100,000 a post, no negotiations.
Addison Ray,
Maybe.
let's shout it the baddest.
Bro, imagine making $100,000
Bro,
to just
yeah.
say like, "Hey, buy this product. I
But,
love it so
like,
much."
a lot of them don't make a lot of
Bro,
posts though.
Kendall Jenner and Kylie.
if you're doing one a month, that's
Yeah.
1.2 a year.
Bro, you know they paid Kylie $1 million for a post.
Yeah, I heard about
Those
that too.
AirPods,
Yeah,
those fake AirPods.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
disgusting, dude.
but just imagine. But also imagine how many people view Addison
I know.
Rae's shit.
That's what I always wonder. I'm like, I feel like
100,000 for an Addison Rae post. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it's like not worth it. I'm not saying that it is worth it, but I'm not saying it's not worth
y'all
it.
should do it and tell us.
Yeah, I'm
Like
down.
Inaka should do
Like
that.
at the end of the year, fuck it. Just if we need a little tax write off or something.
But
for
I mean,
marketing.
dude, how much does it suck if you pay that $100,000
And you
there's
don't
like
get shit?
$5,000 in
Yeah.
sales? We had
Yeah.
when we did pumped up kicks very briefly, we ran like a shoe thing that was ruined by bots, but we had a couple big influencers that were like, I want $20,000 for a shout out. We'd be like,
Praise.
no, we're just gonna send you a pair of Yeezys for free. Also, the power of Yeezy, like we had people that'd be like, I want $20,000 for a post, and we'd be like, hey, we'll send you a pair of like I don't know.
At the time, Yeezys were like fucking.
Yeah. But we'd be like,
Yeah.
we'll send you the orange Yeezys or whatever. And they're like, okay. And they do it
Yeah.
for free. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so y'all asked for 20. We sent you a $300 pair of shoes and y'all give us a free shout out. Like,
It's because they didn't. They were just telling you. Yeah, I hate when people do that.
But the hype back then where Yeezys was
Yeah,
crazy.
no. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
still to this day, if you offer someone the equivalent of that, they'll still say yeah because.
But
like,
we had,
ain't nobody trying to.
I don't know
fucking
these
pay
people, so I
20K.
really don't give a shit if I'm talking shit or not. But, oh, fuck. My bad. It was like Supreme Patty or something like that. Is that a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
We gave him
yeah.
a pair of shoes and he gave us a shout out. And I think we made like one sale. Like, dude had like a million followers,
Yeah.
and he like shouted us out. And like, I think we literally maybe sold like one hoodie and like one shirt. And I don't think it was because our product was bad. I just don't think anyone saw it.
Nah, yeah, it's
think
because he was a
Supreme-
clown though. So
Yeah,
like people
he-
only saw him for like hype, like or not hype, like people would only follow him because he was doing some like wild like
Does
cringe
he still
shits.
like exist?
I don't. I have no
Nah,
clue.
probably not.
That was I didn't even set that up. That was like my business partner at the time did all of that. But it was just like, I mean, we weren't upset or anything, but it was just like insane to think that like if he wanted, I don't know what he wanted at the time, but let's just say he asked for 20. Like the fact that we got one sale out of it. And
Yeah.
what if we did pay him 20? Like, oh my God.
It's so interesting. It's very interesting when you think about it.
You got to watch, dude. When you're running these companies, like you got to watch.
You
the,
can't
we were
just
talking about the
throw
other
money
but
around.
You got to watch the engagement. There's
Yeah.
people that reach out to you with 1 million followers, and you're like, oh, this is a good deal, and then they get like 100 likes, and they make one sale, and it's like, well,
Yeah, I see it all the
that
time.
wasn't a good deal. Like,
Yeah.
Or they get a shit ton of likes, they get a shit ton of comments, but it's all fake.
yeah, you just got to check if it's like
Yeah.
nice post, bro, nice post, nice post.
No,
Yeah,
all
now
the
we're good.
sexy
dude,
post.
the 1,000 fire emojis.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, come
That's-
on,
dude, it's-
if I can go to my account and see more real legit people comment than your account, and you have 5 times as much followers as me, don't talk to me
That's
about
what-
money for a post.
we
Ever
were talking
in your
about that the
life.
other day.
Do
It's
not
wild.
ever talk to me about money for a post.
I feel like it's hard to like. I feel like being in y'all's business right now, like it's gotta be hard to find legit people because it is so inflated.
It's so saturated too.
I think TikTok does a good job of exposing people that like TikTok. I think gives you like a real. I'm not even talking about as far as like being able to translate to sales, but it showcases like you having a legit following. It's like out
a little
in
bit
broad
better.
daylight.
Yeah, because I mean, Instagram you can hide the likes now, and
Yeah.
some countries don't even get the option to see the likes. YouTube, I think now is canceling. Like now you can hide your views if you want, and no one can see dislikes. Which is crazy.
You
to
can't
me,
see
dude.
dislikes because our podcast. Well, it's also good though, because you see absolutely zero. I'm always wondering, like, am I only not seeing dislikes because it's from my?
Now they turn it off
from
for
the account?
everybody.
Yeah. I mean, honestly though, I kind of fuck with the no like shit.
I
If you-
don't.
but like because like why not? Why don't
Because
you?
okay, so the biggest thing for me, and like I've actually ran into this, I learn a lot on YouTube. So
Based
I'm the
on,
kind
like,
of guy, yeah.
okay,
So I'm
I know
like,
what you
oh,
mean.
I don't want to know how to cook a steak. Like I'm a YouTube how to cook the proper filet mignon or whatever. And now that I can't see dislikes, I'm like, this could be the worst thing in the world. I have
Yeah.
no clue.
I feel
There's
you.
memes about that, about like people like watching like electrician tutorials now and
Yeah.
they can't see dislikes and shocking themselves because they have no clue.
Yeah.
That was the telltale. You join a video and it has 80% dislikes. I'm leaving the video. I don't need to watch
Yeah,
the
but
rest of it.
but like YouTube doesn't recommend, like when you look something up, like the algorithm's not going to recommend bad videos.
Hopefully.
If you're on the 7th page, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
trash.
I think hiding your likes and not getting good engagement in the comments is definitely a red flag. But if you hide your likes, or if a company, like say, like I was thinking about this the other day, if Inaka were to hide its likes, but like during our launches we get like 6,000, 7,000 comments per post. If we were to continue getting that 6,000 to 7,000 comments per post, but we hit our likes, I think people would still understand that we're a hype, like a still like
Yeah.
a very.
I feel like it's
popular
fine for you. It's like people that are reaching out to get a paid post.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
where I'm like,
Yeah.
And it's definitely, I mean, you can tell, like when I first was doing YouTube, companies would just hit me up and be like, hey, we'll pay you X amount for a shout out. No questions asked. Now, if a company hits me up, they're like, can you send us your deck? We need a screenshot of analytics. We need like
Yeah.
engagement. Like they want everything up front because it's so hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
I would just like, for me personally, because I'm kind of in charge of that, I like would rather never pay for a post.
Oh,
Like
I
if you're
think that's-
asking me
yeah.
to pay, like, because at this point, brands like, unless you really just have reached your cap of marketing, you really don't need to pay anyone for. If you need to pay someone for a post, like, yeah, you might
Dude,
not
it's
be in
all,
the best
it's all
position.
engagement. Like if you're trying to grow your social or whatever, like I would much rather, as a business, I would rather work with you if you have 5,000 followers, but you get 1,000 likes a post, than if you have 1 million followers, but you get 100 likes a post. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about the following count anymore because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Same
It
for
literally
YouTube. You see these
doesn't.
guys with 1 million subs and they'll get like 5,000 views a video, and it's like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, especially when you've been on Instagram for like since 2012.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, you have 1 million followers. Half of them don't even use this shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like with TikTok, like TikTok is the most downloaded app and the most active app. So like, if you have 1 million on TikTok, I'm like, oh, like 1 million on TikTok means a lot more to me than 1 million on Instagram.
That's
Actually,
the
I
one
take
that
that
I-
back, but Like, because $1 million on Instagram is still pretty valid. I'm not gonna lie. But like, it's still like I'd much rather value like the $1 million on TikTok as opposed.
I agree because on TikTok, like your shit's being seen, like it's cycling and being seen by everyone. On Instagram, with everything that they've changed, I think you're only being seen by your following. That's it.
Yeah.
It's
and sometimes on the Explorers page.
TikTok's the one that I never got into, and I kind of regret it now. Like I was definitely the boomer.
Still can, though.
I know, but I was definitely the guy who was like, I'm not getting on that app. It's never going to replace Instagram. And now I look back and I'm like there's like car YouTubers on TikTok and they'll just post like them driving at like 80 miles an hour and have like 5 million views. And I'm like, I'm trying to make movies out here and I can't get.
Bro, you should upload like clips from your YouTube videos.
Yeah, just
that's what I could do. I don't even know. Y'all need to teach me how to.
All you have to do
I'm
is
the least tech savvy tech person. Like I literally build apps all day and I like open TikTok and I'm like, how do I what do I do?
TikTok is very confusing.
All you would have to do, like honestly for you, all you would have to do is like get like whatever clip you would like.
I already have all the clips.
Just make it 10x6, then upload it to like obviously it has to be nice. So it has to like in the first 3 seconds or first 1 second at this point, you have to capture some type of attention. If you don't, like no one gives a fuck.
Like maybe show your ass and then
I got you.
I saw someone do that the other day. It was so crazy.
show your ass.
Like it was so crazy. Like I saw someone do. Joe, I kid you.
Go home, like moon the camera. Moon the camera, put the nose back up, and just move out of the way and just try your car.
Bro, I kid you not. Someone posted a TikTok where it was like, I don't even know what she said she was doing, but like she was doing something. It was like, like it was literally something so normal, like maybe like leg day or whatever. She showed like her like basically naked body for the first second, and then it was like a completely different TikTok, and I was like, what did I just watch?
Bro, that's how you get.
That's
the
how
views.
Desperate people are for attention.
Dude,
but it's how it works. It is. Man.
I might be a boomer, but like I get so mad about that shit, dude. Like these like the IG like models, because it always says in their posts to be like IG model. And I'm like, all right,
Wavy.
I don't know if you're a model, but all right.
IG model is like, I'm not a real model.
IG model means I don't have a job and I'm looking for someone to fucking pay my bills. That's
IG model was actually very insane.
Or even just like
labeling yourself an IG model is crazy.
Even like social media model. I'm just like, that literally just means unemployed. Like that's all that means. Jeez. But
Jesus Christ,
yeah, I'm
bro.
sorry, dude.
God, I was like, fuck, man.
But no, dude,
he was going in. He was he said they want someone to pay your bills. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just let him rock. He was like unemployed. I was like,
true.
bro,
it's 100% true.
Yo, like before this episode,
social
like literally,
media model means pretty much unemployed.
That's what it means,
bro. Before this episode, Joe told us multiple times, I'm trying to get canceled.
I'm working on
that
it.
right there was the cancellation.
It's not though, dude.
Every IG model that follows us and watches this podcast, they're gonna be like, yo, fuck Joe.
Well, okay.
But respect to all IG models. Like, I love
dude.
all you IG models for sure.
I'm happy to let them come at me. Because even if your argument is like, oh, I made some money doing it, I'm like, all right, it's not consistent. Like, congratulations, you made 20 grand this year being an IG model, but like 5 years from now, you're no longer a model.
Crazy.
So
it's a good topic.
Someone's got to find you. You got to find that husband real quick. But anyway,
okay, you finish your shit first. Actually.
What I was initially saying.
Hold on. We have to cut that.
Yeah, we definitely have to cut that part.
All right, fair enough.
Just cut it, but like let cut that part. But I'm letting all of you know we just cut something.
Anyway,
if you want to know what we cut
that out.
If you want to know what we cut, Patreon, we're gonna be charging like $10 for the unedited video because we just.
I feel like nothing I said was that bad, but
yo, that was crazy.
I guess I'm going back to my initial point. It'll just like the posts that kill me are like I love my new apartment. And it's like
out of nowhere,
ass, and it's like a picture of like a half naked chick like in the kitchen, and I'm like, what does this have to do with?
Yeah.
Or like, thank you guys so much. Like, I just bought a new car, and it's like tits out, like front and center, and I'm like, what how is this related to the car?
Yeah,
like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I used to get mad about that, but now it's like, one, it's on my life, and then two, like, I think now I'm realizing that, man, there's a market out there for that.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, no,
they make money. I'm not knocking the hustle.
Yeah, there's a market, but I agree. That's what I was gonna ask next because I have to go in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna say that with all these people that are doing OnlyFans and all the other markets and all the other stuff like that, I agree. I think that there isn't really longevity in it, but if you're doing it now and let's say you're making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year or whatever, even $300,000 a year, that's a lot of money to be making off just showing your body. If you're smart enough to like save that money and kind of maybe reinvest into the stock market, reinvest into like cryptocurrency, reinvest into like real estate, all that stuff like that. I think you're still doing it.
Yeah,
100%.
I respect that.
I have nothing against the actual like hustle. I think if you're, you got into it 3 months ago and then you bought a Urus, I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea, and I think that is majority of the people doing it.
True.
I don't think they don't look at the long term here.
True.
But yeah, I don't knock it.
Yeah, I still respect it though. If you're doing OnlyFans and you're running up a bag, like,
would you let
more power to you.
Would you let a girl that you're dating do OnlyFans?
No.
In any regard or like any type of content? Because I would.
I mean, I feel like I'd be okay with it as long as it wasn't like too. I don't want there to ever be a situation where like my son is at school and like one of his friends pulls up like a naked picture of my son's mom. Like, that's not cool to me at all.
Yeah, that's a little OD.
And that's gonna be like that's reality for like 20 years from now. Like your mom jokes are gonna get so much harder,
10.
dude.
Bro, that is so.
I know a lot of.
crazy.
Bro, Lana, what's her name? Lana Rhodes.
Yeah,
she's having a baby.
Yeah.
Imagine that kid's life.
By KD.
Dude. Like he can't go to public school. He can't go to school at all.
And
dude.
your dad's KD, so like that's even worse. Like what's worse? I mean, I love KD.
That is
like,
a weird way.
Wait, really?
Well, supposedly.
I don't think it's KD.
Nah, I think it's
I
like
thought
so.
She was dating the dude.
She was
from the
David.
podcast
She
or whatever.
was. So she was dating him, but then they broke up, and then she linked it with KD, and then like, now she's pregnant.
But yeah, that concept to me is crazy. Like if a kid can say your mom joke to me when I was in middle school, and then pull up like a video of my mom getting pounded out, I'm like, dude, that's game. That's
what if you're doing the What if you're doing the pounding though?
But it's not.
It's just like a normal sex tape at that point.
I'm just like, imagine your mom's the most popular Pornhub person in the world.
Yeah,
that's
that
a hard
would
thing to live
suck.
with, dude.
If my girl's on OnlyFans right now, when we have kids, I definitely think that like that could really fuck that kid's life up, man.
Yeah.
Or dude, even just
That
you,
could
like, do
really
you want to
fuck
know
that kid's
that
life
your
up.
friend has seen your wife naked? Like that's just a weird concept.
The way
to me.
the world is shifting though, the way the world is shifting, it's not going to be like that crazy to those kids. Because if everyone's like, I'm not saying that it's not crazy to us.
I think the OnlyFans,
but imagine all those kids, like if all the kids' moms are on OnlyFans, like what the fuck? Like, yeah, my mom's on OnlyFans. Shit, my mom was making more money than your mom. Like, you know what I mean? That's how they're gonna think.
That's a crazy society.
but I think-
But it's like that's where the world's
insane.
going.
but I think
So-
OnlyFans isn't that cool. Remember like when it was super
Yeah.
cool to get into it in 2020?
Yeah,
Now
it's
it's
just
kind of
like-
like it was at its peak, and now it's just slowly like
Now that whole
declining.
Bro,
died.
that's
and now
everything.
and now it's kind of viewed as like if you do OnlyFans, like woo, that's back then it was like, oh, everyone's doing OnlyFans, let's do it, like whatever, support girls, whatever. And now it's like if you do OnlyFans, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm like I said, I respect your hustle, I respect what you're doing, especially if you're doing it to save money or invest into other markets for the long term. I respect it. But now it's getting back to that point where like if you do OnlyFans, it's kind of like damn, like that's kind of like a risky like
So
thing to go down. But hey, I respect your hustle.
this goes down a really
100%.
long like y'all are gonna have to have me back on to go down this rabbit hole. But it's get rich quick schemes.
Oh,
all
yeah,
around.
for
So
sure.
I mean, we saw the same thing with like the .com bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then same with crypto, same with anytime someone makes an insane amount of money in something, it just it's a gold rush. Everyone flocks to it,
Mm-hmm.
and like 2% of the people will make money, and the rest
Yeah.
just get kind of chewed up and spit out, and all that.
No, it's like at the
yeah.
end of the day, man. If you're an OnlyFans, you're trying to run up a bag and you want to copy yours, and more power to you.
Yeah.
Like,
but I
shit,
think
at the end of
Shali
the
is
day,
right.
fuck
I
it.
think it's starting there. We're seeing like there is no exponential wealth growth.
Oh,
anymore
no,
in
hell
that.
no.
Same with crypto. It's like the guys that got in and made 100 million. That's not happening anymore. Like now you can make good money, but
agree.
you're not
I
making
agree.
that
Yeah.
big push.
Like
that
the
happened at first.
$1 million people, like so like when it first popped off, people were like posting like OnlyFans bought me this, OnlyFans bought me that.
Yeah.
That was like 2020, early
shit
2021. That shit died really quick. Now it's
That was like COVID because people were bored.
as fuck at home.
So they're like, man, I'm tired of beating my shit to like Pornhub.
yeah,
Just watch
I'm
OnlyFans.
gonna beat it to people I actually know in
Yeah,
real life. Like
1000%.
people I see on a
That's
daily
crazy
basis.
too, though.
That's really that, but that's really
Yeah,
facts.
exactly.
Though.
So now it's like
I never
it's
paid
a gold
no
rush. It's like
OnlyFans
the
shit
top,
in
the
my
2%
life,
that got in early.
Never.
They made their shit ton of money, and now it's like okay, it's harder to.
But we see it in everything, and it's a really like interesting to go down like the psychological how humans think, because anytime there's a get rich quick scheme, it happens. It doesn't matter what it is, what industry. If there's a way that you see someone make a lot of money, I want
You're gonna try to do
No,
it.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's
I
just
agree.
like-
I agree. The NFT market's like that too. I think we're still in the gold rush time, but eventually it's going to fade out. Probably by the end of this year, or towards the end of this year. And like I said, the blue chip communities will stay there, but the other communities that ripped millions and millions and millions of dollars off of people, those people will never get that money back.
probably.
That was
But-
a crazy
they would-
transition.
But you could also be so
No,
like,
because he said the gold rush. Like the
No,
gold-
no, I feel you. It was just, it's like so funny. Like if you really think about what we just went through,
it's all related though, dude.
we
It's
went
all
from
rush.
cars and
It's-
YouTube,
yeah.
to like OnlyFans to like NFTs. Like,
I mean-
that's pretty much like the 2022 world right there.
Pretty much. I mean, we can
No,
go
that was
a lot,
crazy.
a lot deeper, but I think we gotta go here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
This pod was actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, y'all should,
This was like a quick funny thing. Like you gave us a breakdown of your life, and then we just went off the rails.
well,
that was great.
Quick question. So how many cars? This is gonna be for the thumbnail.
let's go back to cars.
How many? If you were to total up the amount of vehicles you've owned in your life and value, what would you say?
Oh, dude, I have no clue. I think
2 million.
Yeah, probably market
Total,
value or
everything?
what I bought them.
No, what they're like,
Market. I mean,
Because
mar-
dude,
market
if
value's all
you
that.
market value, I mean, just the last 3 was like $1 million. Because they're all just going for so.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3RS is 300, the GT3 is worth 300. Yeah.
So market value probably like 3 lifetime.
yeah, I didn't spend that, but yeah.
Yeah, but like
wavy.
I mean, it's still. That's still
I've probably thrown away at least $100,000 in
Actually-
my lifetime of buying cars, just losing it.
Actually, before we close, I want to ask one question.
Yeah.
Because not that like a lot of our viewers aren't going to be able to relate to these type of cars. So for like a viewer at home who wants a nice car but obviously is not going to be able to afford maybe like a $200,000-$300,000 car, what's like the best entry middle, you know what I mean?
I go down this list all the time for people. So if you want a really, really fun car to drive, Miata. Miata is the most fun car for the money that you can get into it, get out, and like it's a fun car to actually drive.
Yeah.
Under 50, Mustang, Camaro, anything like that. Under 100, GT4 in that range. The new Supras are really badass. M4, all that. I mean, I definitely have. I think I was actually probably gonna make a video like going up to like each budget, what I recommend in each one.
That'd be a good video.
But it depends on what you want too. Like not everyone wants to, if you're looking for a driving experience, Miata. But if you're looking for a luxury car, I'd probably go like a Lexus or something. Like there's different.
Yeah.
How is the GT4 cheaper than the 911? Like
It's not a 9. I mean, it's based on the Cayman, so it's just a cheaper platform. It'll never be as good. The Porsche is always claimed they're never going to let the Cayman outshadow the little. So surprisingly enough, the Cayman's the better car. It's mid-engine. So the 911's rear end, it never should have worked. Like the 911 should not be as good as it is. The Cayman, if they put the same motor and tech in it, it would kick the shit out of the 911. So everyone kind of thinks that Porsche's always kind of like made the Cayman the slower one on purpose because they know that if they put the right shit in it, it'd be a way better car.
Damn.
Because the motor's directly in the middle of the car. It's just a better platform to build on. Same like the Corvette's now mid-engine.
So the 911 is Porsche. Like Porsche's like
that's
LeBron
their baby.
James.
Yeah. And they put so much money into it. I mean, if you think about putting a motor over your back tires and no weight over the front, it makes no sense. Like that should have never worked. And the fact that they've now created one of the best cars in the world on that platform is insane. But
engineering,
historically speaking, like a mid-engine car is always a better car than a rear-engine car. So,
damn, that's great, man. This was a great episode. It was actually a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can have you back and we can dissect NFTs, OnlyFans, cars, all that.
I don't even know how we went that route.
I liked it though.
I want to get into politics, but
next time.
On that note, guys, we'll be back next Monday with a new episode. Once again, thank you, Joe, the biggest supporter of
that's not
in
true.
the world.
No. I appreciate you guys having me on. That was fun.
Oh man, yo, just bleep that one. Just bleep that one.
Yeah,
just bleep it. But like, don't cut it. But just bleep it. Like when I say biggest supporter of, just bleep.
Yeah.
But great episode, guys. See you next week.
Sweet.
That was good. That was a quick one. That was an hour, right? Hour?
Hour 10.
Oh, that was good.
Sweet.
That was gonna be like